Welcome to the Unnatural Leader, where we believe that leadership is a skill that can be trained and not an attribute with which we're born. I'm Andy Glenn, and my goal with these videos is to provide to you an easy-to-access resource that will help you develop the tools to be a stronger leader. In this video, I want to discuss somebody else's views on leadership. Over the past week, I had the privilege of listening to one of the U.S. Army's newest four-star generals address mid-level leaders across both the military and civilian parts of the federal government. On an audience of around 1,500 or so individuals, listened to General Robert Brown provide musings on leadership. General Brown is taking command of the U.S. Army Pacific, which is one of the largest organizations in the government. It's about 80,000 soldiers that he's going to have responsibility for. So not by no means a small undertaking. In his musings, he identified 10 key characteristics or skills that he believes that successful leaders possess or demonstrate. And I think you're going to find that these 10 characteristics and skills nest very nicely with some of the topics that we've already covered here at the Unnatural Leader, as well as topics that we'll cover in future videos and episodes. So with that, let's go ahead and jump in. So the first one that he identified is that leaders care. And so I think he feels that this is the most important one because it's the first one that he identified. Leaders care about the people with whom they work. And this goes back, if you haven't already seen the one-on-one basics episode or the first rule, I would strongly encourage you to go back and watch both of those. Link them here on the video screen, but go back, look at those, and you'll see that we believe the same thing, that leaders care. As the old truism goes, people don't care what you know until they know that you care. So he feels that we can never pass up on an opportunity to stop and talk to the people with whom we work, our subordinates, or our direct reports, or our skips, whoever we encounter. We need to take the time to stop, engage in a dialogue with them, ask them how they're doing, ask them something about themselves. Now, he has a little hack that he uses, which is everybody in his organization, he tries to learn one small thing about them, and then he will bring that up as a callback in future conversations. So if you've got 3 directs, or really skip levels, we'll talk skips because the likelihood of encountering them is a little bit lower. But let's say you've got 3 skips. You've got Mary, Tom, and Bob. Mary just is taking piano lessons. Bob is a family man. He's got 2 little kids who are in soccer, and Tom is an outdoorsman. So if you run into Mary, you might ask her how her piano lessons are going, and kind of encourage her a little bit there. Same thing with Tom and Bob. You want to ask about those things that you know about them. So learn something about everybody in your organization as best you can, anybody that's working for you, and then reference it when you talk to them in future conversations. So that's his first one, is that leaders care. His second characteristic or action that he feels that leaders do is that leaders act with character. Now, we're not going to talk a whole lot about character in this episode. In fact, we're not going to talk a whole lot about each of these 10 things, but we will in future episodes cover character and what that means. So that's his second one. The third one is that leaders have a vision. So as a leader, we have to envision where we want the organization to go, and then we're going to figure out how to get them there. But only once we've identified that can we then look behind ourselves, say, hey, come with me, let's go towards this vision and get everybody moving in the same direction. The fourth thing is teamwork. Leaders build teams, and so when General Brown was a cadet prior to coming into the Army, he was at the United States Military Academy, probably 35 years ago. He was playing basketball under Coach K of Duke basketball fame, and Coach K had an analogy of teams as being our fists. So when we spread out our fingers into disparate little cells or individuals, if we were to try and punch somebody like that, we're not going to accomplish a whole lot, except we might break our finger, but it's not going to be terribly effective. But once we can coalesce those individuals around our vision that we talked about just 2 seconds ago, now we've got a fist and it's a whole lot stronger so we can punch somebody without breaking our fingers, but everybody stays together and we're going to have a lot better success. So leaders build teams, certainly something we're going to talk about more in the future as well. The next characteristic is that they empower. They empower their subordinates. We're going to talk a whole lot about delegation and how do we empower in future episodes. I think it's a critical skill that leaders possess and a critical action that we take in empowering and in developing and in delegating. We're going to get a lot more done that way, but we're also going to develop our subordinates by empowering them. Leaders learn, General Brown said, so it's not enough that we are stagnant. It's not enough that we've gotten to this point, but we need to continue to strive to improve ourselves and improve our organizations. We need to adopt what's called a growth mindset of, hey, I might be doing great right now, or I might be not where I want to be. Both are okay, but I want to continue to grow and I want to continue to try and reach new heights as a leader, as an organization. So that's certainly why these videos exist, and partly for my growth, but also to try and help you grow as a leader too. The next one that he talked about is that instincts. So leaders have instincts and leaders need to be able to act on those instincts. We spend a whole lot of time trying to maximize information, get a perfect solution, which is usually going to support our instincts. So there are certainly times when we need to be able to take a shortcut, move faster, and trust our instincts and just act. We'll talk a lot more about decision making in future episodes as well, but instincts is certainly something that leaders possess and we need to hone as best we can. The eighth topic that General Brown covered was humility. Leaders act with humility. We do not take credit for other people's work. Absolutely not. We share credit where credit is due. We give credit when it's due, and we take the blame when things go wrong. So as a leader, we hold the responsibility for anything that happens or fails to happen within our organization, which means that we certainly take the blame. We cannot be afraid of that. And when things go right, we need to help encourage others by passing on that praise and credit when it is due and where it's due. Number 9 is mentorship. General Brown talked quite a bit about the importance of mentorship, both for the leader as well as a leader providing mentorship to others. So we've talked about mentorship and how to get an amazing mentor. I will link it here as well, but I would strongly encourage you to go back, watch that. And that's not enough, though. It's not enough that we have mentors, but as leaders, we need to start mentoring others. We need to provide that same informal mentorship that we've talked about in previous episodes to our subordinates. So pick up the phone, call somebody that has worked with you previously, that's been in your organization, that's moved on. We want to keep track of where they're going in their career for at least several years. Provide them a resource that they can follow up with. So just try staying in touch with the people that have worked for you previously and provide them that mentorship. And then the last topic that General Brown discussed was what he called the difference. And this is a very intangible topic, but it's certainly an important one. So a lot of entrepreneurs will reference hustle, and I think the difference is related to hustle. There's also a certain aspect of tenacity to this difference. But what General Brown was talking about, I believe, is this idea of eternal optimism, of no matter how bad things are right now, we can accept that and we can still stay optimistic about how we're going to improve the organization, where we're going to take the organization. So it doesn't matter if you've taken a huge loss this quarter in a business, we can get better. It doesn't matter if you're a military officer who has a unit pinned under fire, we're going to break out, we're going to be successful, and we're going to win. And then we need to hustle, or we need to have the tenacity to actually make that happen. So those are General Brown's top 10 topics on leadership that he discussed with mid-level leaders this week. And so I don't know, what do you think? Drop me a note down in the comments. Let me know what you think of General Brown's 10 topics or 10 characteristics or 10 skills of leadership. And then, I hope you enjoyed it. So please feel free to hit the subscribe button as well. Would love to have you subscribe. It helps me out tremendously, reach more individuals and help more people with leadership as well. So thanks. That's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.